Okay. Let's say you have two options. You can either jog consistently for 30 minutes at, say, a 10-minute mile pace, or you can sprint for a few minutes at a time, then stop and walk, then sprint again. Which would burn more fat? Conventional wisdom says, right, jogging nonstop because you're not giving yourself a break. It's more difficult. But the answer is actually the sprinting option. And here's why. And here's where we get into a little bit of the science. Jogging is an aerobic form of exercise. So that basically means you'll be consistently breathing in oxygen for energy as you're running at a steady pace. Excuse me. Jogging is going to increase what's called your VO2 max. That's the maximum amount of oxygen that your body can use at any given time. But number one, there's a ceiling to how many calories and how much fat you can burn during jogging. And number two, jogging doesn't just burn fat. It also it also burns muscle. So it depends on your fitness goals. But definitely important to note, again, jogging being aerobic, okay? Whereas let's contrast that with sprinting, which is anaerobic. So if you remember from biology class, in anaerobic respiration, glucose breaks down without oxygen, producing lactic acid rather than CO2 and water. So because it's not aerobic, guys, you're not training with a continuous amount of oxygen flowing, so it's more physically demanding. What does that mean? So your body's going to need to rely on its fat stores in order to power the high-intensity workout. So you're burning fat more in an anaerobic sprint than an aerobic jog. So for that reason, guys, when you're sprinting for 2-minute intervals and stopping and sprinting again for 2 minutes and stopping, that's going to burn more fat than running for 30 minutes straight. And you can save time too. You know, it's what I find funny is I see people on the treadmill at the gym who have been jogging for 45 minutes at a 10-minute mile pace. You know, and I'll peek over, see how many calories they've burned, maybe a couple hundred, what have you, 400 or 500. Well, I've burned the same number of calories sprinting for 20 minutes on and off at a 6-minute mile pace. So not only am I burning more fat, more calories are exhausted, but I'm saving time too. You know, it does depend on your fitness goals. I am looking to maintain muscle mass, whereas maybe if you don't care about losing muscle definition, you might also be inclined to jog. That's an important distinguishing factor. Understand, people think, oh, like why would I want to lift? I don't want to, I don't want to be out here looking like The Rock. But even if you're just trying to burn fat, you should still consider doing weight training because of the sheer effort that it requires. The calories that you're burning are on that level with jogging or sprinting. Like all those are going to burn just as much calories as jogging. And let's face it, it's more fun. You're pushing yourself, putting up those reps on the bench. Whereas, I don't know about you guys, jogging on the treadmill for 30 minutes, my mind I don't even know what to think about. I mean, you're listening to music. It's the same 20, 30, 40 songs. Maybe you're listening to my podcast while jogging, and it's not so bad. Might be when wondering, like, how do I know if I'm doing, one thing or the other? Well, you can check your heart rate. I don't have like a Fitbit. I would love a Fitbit. So, if I have anyone who has any connections to the company or like an Apple Watch, one of those things, if you have that, you can check your heart rate. And that's really important because you can see how hard you're pushing yourself and whether you're in aerobic or anaerobic respiration. So the formula is your maximum heart rate, the fastest your heart can possibly beat, is 220 minus your age. That's a universally accepted formula. Didn't just make it up. You can ask your doctor. 220 minus your age. So I'm 26. My maximum heart rate is 194. Should I be at 194, during the whole workout? No. Should I be at 194 during any of the workout? No. That is very dangerous. You're going to induce, cardiac arrest. Don't do that. But you can look at what percentage you are close to your maximum heart rate. So if you're at 70 to 80% of your maximum heart rate, you're considered to be in aerobic respiration. So that would be, for me, between 136 and 155 beats per minute. If you're at 80 to 90%, you're in anaerobic respiration, which would be 155 to 175 beats per minute. And again, you're on the treadmill running, you can check. They have the monitor on. You put your finger on the thing, and you can see how fast your heart's beating. You don't want to kill yourself and spend too much time in that 80 to 90% range. But with the high intensity interval training, you can really take advantage of that to sprint at the 80 to 90% range, being for me again 155 to 175. Then jog for a few minutes or walk. All right, drink some water, relax, and then again, push it again to a different song, 155, 175. And that's how you know that you're doing that high intensity interval training, as opposed to just jogging, right, at like 60, 70%, 130. That's not going to burn as much fat.